When you start with better ingredients, better pizza, you also get better papadillas, better cheese sticks, better yummy this, and better. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. If there is such a thing, but wanted to come on here, kind of update my thinking of the off season and what the Braves might or are looking to do. Obviously, we've already added a couple of pieces. Sam Hilliard from the Colorado Rockies, very small. What's up, Chris? Very small deal, but I think Sam Hilliard really has a chance. He's got speed to burn. Yeah, been doing good. Just waiting on the big time moves to happen. But adding Sam Hilliard is definitely not going to break the internet, but I kind of like it. Has speed to burn. Definitely, probably his best quality. Plays all three outfield spots. Very inexpensive guy. Maybe a little bit of an upgrade from Heredia, possibly, or insurance, depending on if we're able to get rid of Marcell Ozuna's contract. Who knows there? But I was actually going through the moves that the Braves need to make, and you look at it, you got Matt Olson locked up. You got Ozzy locked up. You got Ronald Acuna Jr. locked up. You've got Michael Harris locked up. You've got Strider locked up. You've got Riley locked up. So basically, the only move that you can look for right now is what do we do at shortstop? I think it feels like it's Dansby or somebody we're not thinking of, because I really don't think that Vaughn Grisham, even though I appreciate what he did, I just don't think he's ready to be an everyday shortstop at all, honestly. So that's just my opinion. I love Vaughn Grisham and I love the potential versatility. I honestly think he could be more of a Martin Prado type, but Justin Henry Malloy looks ready to be maybe that utility guy we've been looking for to kind of save the legs of some of our regulars. Maybe that be a trend in 2023. I don't know, but Justin Henry Malloy is definitely the prospect to look at. But you basically pretty much got the entire roster set except shortstop. And then if you can get rid of Marcell Ozuna's contract, and then maybe a couple of relief pieces, the starter would be nice. And with us being so close to the luxury tax, I don't think it'll affect us this time because the first luxury tax penalty is basically nothing. So I'm not really questioning that. And I love the Nick Anderson addition, especially that he can stay healthy, because that is just kind of a diamond in the rough type of signing possibility. And I just like how inexpensive it was. I really like that. And obviously Jesse Chavez, we know what Jesse Chavez brings. So I know those moves aren't the funnest moves or great or break the internet moves, but I think they are very important. The smaller pieces almost become the better pieces. And we're waiting to see if Michael Harris or Spencer Strider are going to win the Rookie of the Year. I think I had my money on Michael Harris, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. Either deserve it. Both deserve it, and I would not be surprised. for either. And I think the Braves organization is in the best spot it can be with all our young guys locked up, or the majority of our young guys locked up, and only having a couple of areas. Obviously, shortstop is very important, and Dansby feels like he makes the most sense given his defensive prowess, the shift going away, him being from Atlanta, all the factors, but obviously a lot of things can change. I've heard Willy Adames, but I don't know that our system has enough to accommodate that trade, but I wouldn't be mad or sad if that did happen either. But I will just be underwhelmed, I will say, if it is Vaughn Grissom or Orlando Arcia at shortstop. And that is just my overall feeling about shortstop. I mean, maybe we bring Jansen back, but Iglesias is likely the closer right now. As it stands, you got Minter Lee from the left side, which is a dynamic duo there. You've got Chavez, McHugh, Iglesias, Nick Anderson possibly. You've got a lot of still really good stuff in the night shift already. So I really like what we've done, the smaller moves and such already. Are you, Chris, you got Michael Harris or Spencer Strider as the Rookie of the Year? I feel like that's all the videos I've been doing the last couple of weeks is Spencer Strider and Michael Harris going back to back on winning the Rookie of the Year. The other contracts that have happened are big time reliever contracts. Edwin Diaz, 5 years, 102 from the Mets, and I can't believe they're going the Bobby Bonilla route again. They'll be paying him until 2042. I think that it'll be a good contract for like a year and a half, but we all know that relievers and big time closers kind of fall and lose it, whether it be injury, especially how Hardy throws and the usage. That is an interesting contract, and I think Edwin Diaz is a great player and deserves a big time contract. I would be mad if the Braves signed a contract like this for a closer. I just would, even if the guy is a great player and a game changer. But that's just weird. The Suarez contract, 5 years, 46 with the Padres. Very well deserved. Have the Braves. I went over the small moves that they made, but no, we haven't done anything huge yet. We re-signed Jesse Chavez to a minor league deal. We acquired Sam Hilliard. The Jake Odorizzi trade was very interesting, getting Kobe out. I think it had more to do about clearing the roster spot than just saving $2.5 million, because $2.5 million isn't a lot. But I was actually surprised that Jake opted in, I guess, even though he's 32, $13 million is a lot for a guy that's had some injury issues. So that one's a little more confusing because in the fifth spot right now, you got Ian Anderson, Kyle Muller, Bryce Elder, Mike Soroka, if healthy, things of that nature. So those guys are better suited as the 5 competition right now, even though Alex Anthopoulos has said that Colby Allard will compete for the 5 spot. I hope we have a little bit more. We can upgrade in the rotation a little bit. Maybe not to Jacob deGrom. I'm not saying no to Jacob deGrom if that happened, but I just think because Colby Allard, the only stat that kind of is popping out, so to speak, is the 192 strikeouts. So the stuff is still there. He's not a free agent until 2027. Maybe he can go back to Gwinnett and figure out, have some Kyle Wright magic dust or AJ Minter magic dust sprinkled on him. But no, the Braves haven't made huge moves, but moves that I liked. Nick Anderson is my favorite and most intriguing one because with the Rays, he'd been pretty dominant, 2.89 ERA without the myriad injuries he's had the last couple of seasons. So he gives you a lot, and he gives you a low-cost right-handed option if he's able to stay healthy. But even if not, it doesn't cost you too much at all. So it's a really good flyer the AA took. Tomorrow's the Roll 5 protection draft, so you might see some flurry of roster moves there because our roster is currently full, and I'm sure there's probably a few guys here or there that we would like to protect. So there's some extra moves that could happen there. The non-tender deadline is Friday, so there's probably going to be some more roster movements today or this week, definitely, especially with the non-tender deadline, which might be interesting. But the Braves haven't done anything, but we really don't have a lot of holes. The big one, shortstop, bench, probably. I would like some more Ben Zobrist type utility guys. Although Justin Henry Malloy, I mentioned it earlier in the live, he has been tearing up the Arizona Fall League and has the ultimate eagle eye I've ever seen. His on-base percentage and strikeout numbers are off the charts amazing. So that's a person to watch in spring training and coming up. Coming up in spring training and more. Yeah, I mean, the Spencer Strider, Michael Harris argument, you can go either way and you can't go wrong. So, but I'm just really happy that they're both around and they're both around for a while. And I think that's the good thing is that we have so many pieces locked up that it being a little slow is not a bad thing. And we don't have too many holes. But again, the shortstop hole is not fun. But it'll be interesting because I don't know that we're gonna pay the Correa or Turner price. That's why I say it's either gonna be Swanson or somebody we're not thinking of, or maybe Orlando Arcia or Vaughn Grisham. But I just don't want that to happen. I just don't. Nothing against them. I just think it'd be a huge step down in where the Braves are organizationally and competing for World Series every single year in the winning window. I just think it would do a number on the locker room and such, and I don't think we need that after the Freddie Freeman thing, even though we were able to work out of it and it wasn't really our fault. We did a nice job of getting out of that, so to speak. And yes, free agency has been quiet. It's always seemingly quiet on the baseball front because you got so many dates and rosters and players and people and contracts to wade through and things of that nature. Probably will pick up this week a little bit, I think, with the non-tender deadline. And the winter meetings, December 6th, that's always an interesting dynamic there, is the non-tender deadline, and the winter meetings is when everybody's together and things happen. So that you should see some there, but until one of the bigger free agents sign, Justin Verlander or the draft lottery should be fun. I don't think the Braves. I don't know. I don't really have any comments on the draft lottery, but it should be an interesting watch just to see how it shakes out. I can't believe they had a 2-hour show for 2 announcements. I mean, I don't mind it, but it seems kind of long. But yeah, a couple different bullpen pieces maybe, but that shortstop and definitely the bench. I think the bench could use like I said, a Ben Zobrist or a Martin Prado makeover, so to speak, would be nice. Ball is playing. He picked up 2 early fouls again, so kind of playing uphill behind the 8 ball again. He's got to stop picking up those early fouls. But he hit an early 3. It's 31-23 at the end of the first quarter, so much better than the last time we played Orlando. But the other reliever contract that I didn't mention earlier was Rafael Montero signing a 3-year, $34.5 million contract, which makes the Jesse Chavez and Nick Anderson signings, they could be even more valuable, especially if they stay healthy and produce Jesse Chavez and Atlanta is like a warm, comfy blanket, and him only getting 1.2 if he makes it, in comparison to the Diaz contract or the Montero or the Suarez contract, even though I like the Suarez and Montero contracts, but they're still in their 30s, so that's a big chunk of change for relievers. So, I mean, we've seen, and Jose Urena re-signed with the Rockies 1 year, $3.5 million plus. Clayton Kershaw 1 year, $20 million, and Adam Wainwright 1 year. No, not yet. They announced the American League Rookie of the Year, which was Jose Rodriguez. Obviously, he got 29 of 30 votes. They haven't announced it yet. Maybe at 8:00, which is kind of weird. Well, yeah, it's Money Mike definitely, or Spencer Strider, but they might split some votes. Who knows? But no announcement officially yet. But I had Michael Harris winning, but I wouldn't be surprised for either. But the Braves are in a really good spot. I mean, we are up against the luxury tax a little more, so we might want to get creative with some of our contracts. But the only really not great contract is the Marcell Ozuna one. So we'll see if there's any movement there. I've seen that maybe Ian Anderson could be a trade piece in some people's discussions, which I think that's either going to be the case or he can have a Kyle Wright kind of renaissance, and kind of like put it all together. I do think he needs the third pitch, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, so well, I think the Jake Odorizzi trade, I mentioned this earlier, but the Jake Odorizzi trade is just basically for the roster spot and not the money, because you don't $2.5 million is not a lot, but again, $2.5 million you could $2.5 million can go a long way, I guess. Joseph, let's see, my guess. I don't know. I think we're in all discussions and all conversations. Joseph, I really do, because Kenley Jansen came out of nowhere. I know it was a 1 year. Alex Anthopoulos special, but that's a big name that I don't think any of us were thinking. So I think I don't think we're out on any of those conversations. I think we're going to be smart again because we're up against the luxury tax a little bit, and I guarantee you we will go over this offseason and it won't cost us a lot, the penalty, but if we go over for more years, it'll be worse. But we got a lot of money going off the books next year as well, so I think it won't be too much of an issue. But as much of has our fan base and have been filling up the turnstiles and 3.1 million fans, I think we will definitely be in the conversations for big, but I think we might do some shrewd, smart, savvy type moves like the Nick Anderson things that we've already done. And I think Kimbrel is not maybe, but I don't see it. Kimbrel is just too hot and cold at this point in his career for me to be overly excited, honestly. A nice DH would be nice to kind of see. We'll see like maybe a Hunter Renfroe. I've seen that bantied around a little bit. That would be a cool fit. But again, I think the Marcell Ozuna kind of black hole or rock or whatever you want to call that in terms of contract and situation. Not Alex Anthopoulos' fault, but we'll see. I think we've been trying to get rid of that contract in him for the last year or so, with Patrick Corbin rumor, which and then the Avisail Garcia rumor, which I could have definitely got on board with, because Avisail Garcia was phenomenal for the Brewers and just kind of had a lot of injuries with the Marlins and became a victim of that ballpark, so to speak. And I think he had all singles last year almost. It felt like a few homers here or there. but I think change of scenery and in that ballpark and the Kevin Seitzer type of magic might have been nice to see. And I was I think he's gonna be a nice conversation piece at the 5 spot. I think I'm more I think in my brain it's between Elder as the rotation stands now. It's between Elder, Muller, and Anderson, I believe, for the 5 spot. And yes, I did see a lot better strides from Muller. Not trying to throw it through the catcher and just not trying to do too much and being able to limit damage. I did see a lot better there, and I wouldn't be surprised if Muller snuck and won the 5 spot if our rotation stays the way it is. And then for Vaughn Grissom, I touched on it a little bit, but Vaughn Grissom, I actually kind of like him better as a Martin Prado utility type. I don't see him being able to be an everyday MLB shortstop at the moment with his defense. Obviously, you got a defensive coach wizard in Ron Washington, and he could fix that really, really quickly. But yeah, Allard is in the running for the fifth spot, but I just really don't see it with his numbers. Like I said, the only thing that pops with Allard is his strikeout numbers at 192. So honestly, for me, Anderson, Muller, Elder, as the rotation stands now with Max Fried, Spencer Strider, Charlie Morton, and who's the what am I missing? Max Fried. Oh, Kyle Wright. Duh. We don't need Kimbrel. We don't need Hayward. Hayward, no, I just no. I'd rather not do that again. Some reunions are fine, but some have played out and don't need to be and don't need to be rekindled. And some folks say don't call it a comeback. But when the sizzling savory pork chop grill maybe I think that I agree that Ellard needs more time in the farm, but I don't know if he has any minor league options. So they'll have to manipulate. I don't know why you don't like Hayward that much. I just don't want him back as a player because I just think that's done. I wouldn't mind Hayward back as a coach or an analyst, but that's just me. But yeah, Allard definitely is a more minor league candidate to me to see if he can fully put it together, aka Kyle Wright, because he was the 14th overall pick in the draft in 2015 or 14, I believe. So there's still something there. I just don't see him making it as the five spot right now. I'm a lot more confident in what Elder gave us last year, and even Kyle Muller and Anderson. He's done it. He's done it before. I just think Anderson needs another pitch. That's just an opinion there. But also, I also could see Anderson traded in a premium package for maybe a shortstop or something. Michael Harris is your NL Rookie of the Year. Congratulations, Money Mike. Man, I think Ozzy being gone impacted us more than we all wanted to think. I think Ozzy, kind of the Energizer Bunny, he keeps Ronald, like Ronald and him are best friends, so that was a damper as well. And Ronald dealing with the Achilles and such, or the ACL rather, that was a damper. And I think having Ronald and Ozzy back full seasons and Ronald coming off the ACL, that's just the sky's the limit there, to be honest. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And a full year of Spencer Strider and Michael Harris, sign me up for that. So there's a lot to be excited about, and obviously a lot to be decided with a lot of free agents and such. But we are in probably the best spot we've been in as an organization. 5 straight NL East titles, World Series, just absolutely incredible. Full year of Matt Olson with not the Freddie monkey on his back, and just realizing that he's going to be he is the guy at first base, and we don't have to talk about the reunions, all that stuff. That's amazing. That's amazing. So I'm really, really happy about that. David Justice announcing that is super, super cool. I think the funny thing is, I think Michael Harris is what the Braves hope that Jason Hayward would be. Jason Hayward had a solid career, but Michael Harris taking I think the Mets, yes, because they have a blank checkbook. But they always do some interesting things that make no sense to me, like the Edwin Diaz contract. I think that it'll work for about a year and a half. But I just investing that much in one guy, and closers are such a ticking time bomb with injuries and effectiveness. And Edwin Diaz struggled mightily before last year trying to fit into the playing in New York and how hard it is. But yeah, I think the Mets. I think the NL East is bar none the toughest division, and it will always be that way. Especially the Phillies catching fire and having their magic run. And I think they found their guy in Rob Thompson, and they've got a lot of good pieces and a lot of good thoughts there. And their pitching is always. Yeah, I saw that Yasiel pleaded guilty to lying about sports betting or betting on sports. So I guess that's why we haven't heard from him the last few years, and that stinks for him because he was definitely exciting to watch. Polarizing, definitely, but exciting to watch and a game changer. And he was almost a Brave, if you remember. So best of luck to him in a rough situation that he created for himself. So best of luck to him there. But yeah, I think the entire division, especially with the Marlins and their pitching, it's always going to be there. Definitely praying for the UVA situation. Such a senseless thing. But we have, unfortunately, we have them every single day somewhere, and it's just so sad. But Puig illegally, or he lied to federal investigators about gambling on baseball and sports. Kind of a mini Pete Rose, except he lied to federal investigators, so that's never a good thing. Working on his ankle. You see him working on it right now, just massaging it, rubbing it out. And I mean, nothing more to report on that, but it seems like it is giving him a little bit of pain. But I'm sure he'll suit up, tie his shoes a little tighter, get back in the game. But he is. But every time there's a timeout or something. Yeah, Michael Harris winning is incredible, and with him a full year. I don't know what the voting was. Oh, here we go. Michael Harris got 22 votes. Spencer Strider got 8 first place votes. Michael Harris got 22, and Brendan Donovan, the rookie for St. Louis, got 0. So luckily they did not split the vote too poorly, but I literally felt like we were watching a mini Andrew Jones, and what he did offensively, I don't think any of us could have anticipated. But very, very excited. I think that Vaughn Grissom needs to start in AAA. I didn't finish that, Joseph. I think if we really think he might be the shortstop of the future, depending on what we do at shortstop, the big four or somebody that we're not thinking of, who knows? But that also could change him to the utility that I've been talking about this whole live and the whole conversation. But I really do think we need to improve the bench. Because last year it just felt our guys got worn down with the battle with the Mets and different things. Obviously, we got smacked in the mouth and such, but I just think it will help if we had a little more versatility and I don't know the word. Don't know the word. I can't think of the word. Versatility and and creativity, I guess, maybe is the word I'm looking for, with lineup construction and being able to just keep your guys fresh, even though I know they pride themselves on playing each and every day, which I respect totally. But maybe. But I think maybe. But I think Vaughn Grissom can fill that hole, or Vaughn Grissom or Justin Henry Malloy can fill that role better, I think, than a Charlie Culberson. So that's just my take. But Jace Peterson is an interesting thought for sure. But yeah, I really like where the Braves are. You can maybe get another lefty in the bullpen because we've liked the 3 lefties and maybe another righty. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Kenley Jansen back at all because I think Brian Snitker really liked that and he was really, really solid, even though he made me pull my hair out a little bit more in points during the season. But it's really nice to have a roster that you're very confident in. We'll definitely see what happens with the big 3 shortstops. It's always interesting. Or big 4. Xander Bogaerts is definitely interesting too. I don't think I know enough about him. I know he's super consistent. I wouldn't be mad at Xander Bogaerts. I just wouldn't have a big base of knowledge because I don't. Even though the Red Sox play all the time against the Yankees on ESPN, I don't have a big time base of. I just know he's really, really super consistent. So that would be interesting. My reaction would be fun to see him back, but he needs to be a lot more consistent, and it would obviously depend on the contract and the dollars. Because he's just been so hot and cold, hit or miss more than Kenley Jansen. Like you can see when you get mechanically out of whack, that's what you could see with Kenley Jansen at times. You really can't see why Kimbrel is struggling so much. It's not mechanical, but I just think he's way too hot and cold. But obviously, it would depend on the contract numbers. That's my honest answer on Kimbrel. I did see. They would take. Although I love the gumption, and it's an interesting idea, I think it would take our entire farm system to get Bobby Witt Jr. But I like the because we have worked with Casey a lot, but Casey has got a new regime and Casey's got a big time new regime and they're probably trying to keep their young core together, but I definitely like the gumption and like the thought, and there's always there's always a crafty weird thing that none of us are expecting, like the Kenley Jansen move, like the Drew Smiley move a couple of years ago. I honestly, maybe if Verlander had taken a 1-year contract, I wouldn't be surprised if we went there. I mean, I know that's probably a lot of risk because you've already got Charlie Morton, older, coming off injury. Yeah, I think we are a little bit left-handed hitting. we got Rosario, but I think again, I keep bringing this name up. Justin Henry Malloy could help there. But yeah, I think we are lacking left-handed. It would. He was looking for that last year big time, and I think with Ozzy being back, being a switch hitter, that would help as well. But yeah, lineup balance was definitely an issue at times for us. So that would be an interesting look. But again, I don't know what type of. Sam Hilliard's got a little bit of raw power. He just needs to be completely unlocked, and he could be he's a Robbie Grossman, Jorge Soler type, where hopefully our hitting coach's magic could help. But yeah, left-handed hitting would be power hitting would be a nice would be a nice look. Yeah, Sam Hilliard's solid at defense, can play all three spots, and has speed to burn, kind of a mini Terrence Gore. I don't know where the trading Ronald Acuna Jr. rumor started, but it's very, very annoying, and it's not going to happen. Not at all. So let's just stop.
Moving the ball is great for us, and on defensive end, just talking, and make sure we match up with the right guy, and we'll be good.
I just don't get it, and it annoys me. That's one thing that annoys me so much about the national media and about some of our fan base, that we constantly have to defend Ronald Acuna Jr. So, yeah, well, Twitter's in a weird place. Apparently, the Astros have targeted Anthony Rizzo as their number one priority at first base, which that probably would be an amazing fit. But Yankees as well too, so that should be an interesting one to follow.
Since I was little, I wanted to be a part of the team.
That would be dumb. I honestly. I want to keep the d'Arnaud William Contreras combo together. I honestly, you may see Manny Pena traded, or you could see William Contreras at DH. Really, not a big Ohtani fan. That might be the first time I've heard anybody say that, but no, not for the price that it would take. Definitely not. But you could see William Contreras at the DH and Manny Pena and Travis d'Arnaud taking the catching duties. Who knows? I would prefer if we traded Manny Pena. I don't know what you could get or package for him, but he was solid. And he kind of unlocked something with Ian Anderson early on in the season, but. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was just throwing that out there as an option. I don't see it happening because William Contreras made so many strides at catcher. I don't see it out. It's just the way the roster is currently. You could see it, but I also get trading Manny Pena, Travis Darno. I don't get trading at all. That he's just kind of the glue along with Dansby Swanson. So we've got one of the best catching situations in baseball, honestly. So I'm really excited to see how everything plays out. Correa's gonna want too much money. Turner maybe the same. Xander Bogaerts, I spoke on him. So, I mean, Dansby, it seems like it's Dansby or something we're not thinking of, but who knows? I don't know who the big first free agent domino to fall will be, but it's going to be interesting to see. The Rays could be an interesting team to watch because they're trying to cut some. They have so many guys on their Rule 5 roster that they want to keep, but they don't have enough spots, so they could be an active trade partner or something. Yeah, I think that's the easiest answer in keeping Dansby because we know what he is offensively, defensively, and offensively he was the most consistent this year. My problem is I don't know how much you pay for one consistent offensive year, but given that the shift is going away and we know how consistent he is defensively, I would be fine with like a 6-140, 6-150. I would be fine with that, honestly. Probably 6-140 more, or 5-140 with an option. But that's just me, and I don't really know financials and stuff like that. But I do know that Javi Baez got 6-140 from Detroit, and Dansby is such a better overall player than Javi Baez, so that's kind of the area, the comp that I go with there. But let's see. Any other questions or topics or comments?
That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this.
DeGrom, I'm never going to say no to, but it also depends on the contract.
Still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Nightguard different from all other traditional.
What role I'm most excited about? I think the pitch clock is going to be the most interesting thing. I'm excited about it to see how the dynamics changes. I'm excited to see how limiting the overshift will change offensively.
Once upon a time, there was a family who thought all was lost.
I thank you for your support, Joseph. I think this is the first time we've really interacted. But I really love what I do, and thank you. It's amazing, but you guys make it so much more fun to do, and having the interaction and having all of this stuff is really awesome. So and I think the pitch clock is one thing that you worry about with like a Kenley Jansen. So I think that'll come sooner rather than later because they're doing it in minor leagues. So something to that effect might come in. They should model the strike zones after what Pat Hoberg did in the World Series. That was phenomenal. So I think the pitch clock is going to be interesting and and the elimination of Shift is going to benefit guys greatly, like especially Matt Olson. I think Matt Olson is going to have a insanely amazing year, even though he had a really solid year his first year in Atlanta. I just feel like a total breakout MVP type, and that may be again, yeah, I would be gladly be doused in champagne again multiple times in my yard again. And I feel like this is the window that it's gonna happen. And 2021 was so magical that I can't wait till it happens again. But again, it's gonna be a fun and intense ride with how deep the National League East is, and it's just going to be really fun to see how the roster comes together. That's always fun to see AA at work and how he uses small pieces and turns them into bigger pieces, so to speak. So it's really been fun, and I know the off season so far has been really slow, but AA has still made smart moves so far because we all know it takes 50 to 60 to 70 different players to win a championship, and AA is the perfect guy for the job, and he has been absolutely phenomenal for that and for us, and I'm so glad we went with him. But I will try to do these off-season live updates maybe every Monday if I think about it, and if some big things happen, I will make exceptions for that as well. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I have all those updates there. Yeah, Luke Jackson at a smaller rate, yeah, definitely, and he would be an intriguing piece, although he would be coming off Tommy John, so that should be interesting. But if I did want to say, if Twitter goes away, my YouTube channel will not go away, so make sure you subscribe, like, all that jazz. It really helps out a lot. Thanks for this big conversation. I didn't think we'd have that much to talk about, but apparently I can talk about anything when it comes to Braves sports and all that stuff. And you guys have been awesome in contributing and all of that. So much appreciated. And I will try to keep these to an hour on Mondays and just kind of give you a rundown of what's happened during the week. And obviously, if big things happen, there will be individual videos plus the lives if I can make it work. But these are really helping me out a lot, and I appreciate all the interaction and comments. As always, go Braves, champion forever. Have a good night, guys. And I hope AA is got something really big and really fun cooking, because it's really fun to be a Braves fan right now. Peace out, guys. Hey, Carolina.